Hello, hello. Hi, it's Rebecca. I've missed you guys. I think we need some drawing fun. So let's draw a parakeet today. This is what it's going to end up looking like. I need to rotate just a tiny bit. You need a piece of paper, a pencil, a marker, and an eraser, or the back of your pencil eraser will do. All right, let's get started. I'm going to move my guide. You're going to start with your pencil. I'm going to use a marker so that you can see just a little bit better. We're going to have our paper vertical today, and we're going to start up at the top with an oval. If you remember, if you get your whole arm going from your shoulder in that oval shape, set down your pencil when you get it. When you use your whole arm, it's going to help you get that shape easier. So round and round you go. You'll see it's kind of messy. Yours will look messy too, and it's intentional, so don't worry about it. Let it happen. All right, let's add in some details for the body. Off of that oval, we are going to draw a long, skinny oval. Maybe not so skinny, a long oval, about like that. Round and round you go, moving your whole arm from your shoulder. The only part of my body that is resting on the table is this part of my hand. The rest of it is lifted up so I can move nice and freely. Now we're going to go around that oval one more time and then kind of shoot it over and add in a larger oval, just like that. Round and round we go. Okay, now we need a little connecting triangle up here to connect that top oval and that wider oval. Okay, let's go back up to this face. So this top oval is going to be our face. On the right hand side of that, we're going to kind of go around that outside edge and then cut in like a circle, just like that. This area is going to be the part where the eyes and the beak are. Inside that circle, we're going to add another circle that kind of tucks up off to the left-hand corner. About like that. Nice and light and loose with your pencil. In the long run, if you remember, all of this will get erased. So we're just doing nice, light guidelines for ourselves. Next to that circle, we're going to draw a little oval. It kind of goes along that outside edge and tucks back in just like that. All right, now we need our beak. So our beak, I couldn't quite think of the shapes. When you think of a beak, you think of a triangle, but it's going to be kind of arced. So we're going to start right about here, and we're going to draw an arc down. So plant your wrist, and just with the natural movements your body will go in, draw a nice little arc there. At the tip of that arc, we're going to draw an arc that comes back toward that circle that we drew. Then from that circle that we drew, we're going to draw an arc that cuts in. So I couldn't decide if we did that with a circle or a triangle, so I decided we're going to do it with some arcs. So 3 arcs, one going down, one coming back, and then one connecting. So that kind of creates our beak there. Inside this triangular shape that we created with those 2 arcs, we're going to draw just a little oval for their nostril. All right, moving down our parakeet's body. Our little guy needs a shoulder, so we're going to draw an oval that comes down off of that face, nice and skinny, just like that. Now our guy has this little hand up by his face. So this is his shoulder. So this, if you imagine comparing it to a person's body, this would be like shoulder to elbow. Now we need elbow to wrist, so to speak. So we're going to do that with a little circle right at the bottom there. Inside that circle up toward the top, we're going to add in the wrist part. So this would be like if he had his arm up toward his face. So we're going to do a little oval here. And then off of that, we're going to add in the hand, a little oval there, just like that. Off of this oval, we're going to add in 2 circles, one here and one here, with some little triangles for the claws, just like that. This will all make sense when we go back over it, but this gives us the bones of it all. Okay, now we're going to add in this beautiful long feather off this side. So off of this circle that we did, we're going to add in some ovals that are at a diagonal. I'm kind of planting my wrist and just going round and round for these. They're a little bit smaller. I'm just kind of stacking them at a diagonal, one after the other. We are going to do, I think, a total of 5. So we've got 3. Just keep going down nice and light and loose, round and round you go, just like that. As you get toward the bottom, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's all I want. Stop there. And let's go right back up to that shoulder, and we are going to connect those all with just a nice little arc, just like that. I'm just kind of setting my pencil down and dragging it down to match up with that last oval. This will create a wing for us. Now our parakeet is sitting on a branch, so right about here it is underbelly. We are going to add in his claw. So we need 3 ovals. 1, slightly down from that one, 2, 3. Now off of this first oval, we're going to add a little triangle. So down and back, and that oval will create that last little bit of our triangle. Same thing on the third oval. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Now that middle one, the reason I didn't give it a claw is we are going to see, I'm going to call it its thumb. It's going to wrap up. So we're going to add in another oval there. And that will make sense again when we go back over it. Okay, so our guy's sitting on a branch. So now we need to add in our branch. So nice and light and loose with your pencil. We're just going to add in a diagonal line. It's going to come over to our feet and then over to the feathers, just like that. And actually, I'm going to move mine up a bit. It should be coming kind of up toward the top of your feet ovals there and over. You're going to skip over your wing and then carry it out. Let's add in the bottom part there. If you need to do some adjusting like I did, adjust so it makes sense, just like that. And then at the end, I'm going to just kind of go like that. Give it a little V to make the branch look like a branch. All right, now we need to add in the bottom feathers of our parakeet. So we're going to do these again with a bunch of ovals. This first one is going to be a little bit smaller. We're going to see like the underbelly of the bottom feathers here. Now let's go around that one more time and then shoot off and go lower like that. Okay, now off of this oval, we're going to add in some other ovals, kind of like we did over here. We're going to start off to the right-hand side with a long, skinny oval, about like that. Round and round you go. Now these are bigger, so I've got my arm lifted and I'm going from my shoulder again. Now we're going to go at a diagonal, just down from that. One more, little bit longer there. This is the longest feather in our tail. And kind of back up we go. Another one. And another one, nice and light. All right, let's go back up to the face, and we're going to do the eye and then just a few feather details, so when we trace over this with our marker, it's a little bit easier to see. So for our eye, we're going to add in a little circle right about here. It's going to live inside that circle on the face. Round and round you go. Plant your wrist. Kind of air draw it, and then set your pencil down. Inside that circle, let's add another circle. And inside that, an even teeny tinier circle, just like that. Now we need an arc. We're just going to start at the back and draw an arc over that eye. Looks very dramatic. Okay, so for the feathers, inside, I'm going to call this like the top of the head here. Between the beak and the eye, we're going to have some feathers that come up and then come down in front of that eye. So we're going to start over here at this side, go up and just kind of back and forth, head down like that. Then where we had these back ovals and circles, we're going to go along that, cut in where that oval was, Go back out to the edge of the circle, back in and down. We're going to go down all the way, like kind of toward the chin. All right. Now let's add in some details so when we trace over, the feathers will be a little bit easier. This would be like the chest of our bird. We're going to go down that oval and just kind of up and down, heading into that chest. Now back up to the neck, let's add just 3 diagonal lines like that. Now when we go over these feathers, keeping in mind it's a bird, so nothing is going to be like a really harsh line. So let's practice this with our pencil. When we trace over this, we're going to go down that oval and stop, and then we're going to cut in like that, just to give you an idea or a hint of what we're up to next. Okay, so we have all the parts that we need. Go ahead and set down your pencil and grab your marker. I'm using a Sharpie. You can use any kind of marker that you have, or a gel pen, or even just a regular pen. Just something that you can't erase. That is the key there. So we are going to start up around the head, right about here, along the beak. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so give me a thumbs up. That'll be our code. Okay, we're going to start right around this beak where we had drawn that oval. We're going to cut from that corner right there, up and over. And we're going to go around that very first oval that we drew, nice and light with our marker, just like that. Now we're going to go down this side of our parakeet. So like we had just practiced, we're going around the edge of that oval, and then we're going to cut back in to give the illusion of some feathers there. We're going to let these feathers live behind our tree branch. Let's go back up to this face. Where we had drawn this circle inside that head, we're going to use that as our guide for that beak, just like that. So let's do our beak. We're going to go down that arc, back into that arc, and then add in this full arc here. And then add in your little nostril, just your little oval there. Now let's do our eye. We're going to go around that teeny tiny circle on the inside. That's going to be our highlight. And then around that next circle, and then around that last circle. If you had any areas that your markers did not fill in when you traced over these, go ahead and fill in that one section darker. Now for these feathers that we sketched in, we're just going to trace right over those, up and down, up and down, up and down, kind of connecting it in. And then along the top of the head, up and down, head out a little bit, head in a little bit, and down. Okay, start to see it coming together. Now let's go along this line we drew here, along the chest where the feathers are a little poofed out. Back and forth like that. And add in the necklines that we've drawn. Now let's go over to this side. We're going to go from the shoulder, down around, stop for a second, and then cut back in, all the way down to the bottom. I'm just kind of touching my marker down and pulling it along those lines. Now let's add in this claw, hand, arm. All right, so this part is what's going to give it kind of its structure. We're going to go a little bit around this circle here and stop when we get to that arm area, and then go a little bit around on the other side. When you go around that side, stop and do a little back and forth there. Okay, now let's do the actual hand. We're going to kind of cap that off right there, just with a little arc. Then we're going to fill this all in nice and dark with our marker. That first oval, that second oval, our circle with our triangle, and then that one you end up just being able to see just that triangle. So you can see it created a claw with those shapes that we made for these ovals that we had going down. We're going to do the similar thing that we did over here, where we're cutting in and out as we draw them. And then at the bottom, you can add in a few more of those, then go back in, add in a few, back in, add in a few. Down you go with just some simple tracing. You've done all of the heavy lifting. Now we're just adding in the details with our marker. I'm going to connect that just a little bit. So he's kind of up, maybe he's scratching or eating, I'm not really sure. Okay, next up, let's go back over here. Let's add in a few down and up kind of shapes on that wing over there. And let's finish off the body with that same idea. You start to go down and then you stop and you cut back in. Okay, now let's do our tree branch. We're going to go all the way across. Stop at the claws, back, stop at the feathers, and then pick up over here. So that one wing is in front of our tree branch. So when we stop there, we're pushing the tree branch back and the feathers of the wing forward. Now see here, I kind of made a mistake. It's not really a mistake. I didn't trace exactly over. I'm not going to worry about it. If that happens to you, don't worry about it either. Just keep on going. Have a little fun with it. Got to be forgiving with yourself. Stop at your claws, pick it back up, carry it on over, down and around you go. Add in that V shape to give your branch some interest there. Now, for these claws, just like we did with that hand, we're going to end up filling them all in black. So go ahead and go around that first oval, onto that second oval, onto that third oval. Add in your little triangles for the claws. My marker got heavy there. All right, and then the bottom one. So it kind of just reads, maybe I could have done it with one big oval, but I kind of wanted you to understand what we were drawing. So that's why I did it the way I did it. On to the bottom feathers. We're going to start, let's start in the center here with these two ovals here. We're going to go around the bottom of those like this, kind of creating a V. Same thing on the other side. And then let's give it one little line up the middle. Same thing with this next one, that longer one along that side. Just kind of creating some nice little lines following that oval. Give it a little line up the middle. Now, just like we did over here and over here, we're going to do the exact same thing on these bottom feathers. We're going to start up at the top, connect it to your branch. So just add in a little line that we didn't draw there. And we're going to go following those shapes of those ovals, but with lines that just kind of cut in, come down. Same thing with this one. Add some longer ones. Same thing with this one. Now, when we get to this bottom one, just like we did with these two, we're going to go around both edges of it and point them down to a point. You can add in some little lines if you want, some little things along the edges. All right, now when we go over here, we're going to do the outside. And when I say outside, I mean that side of them. Cut down, cut back in, down, cut back in. And I think we have ourselves a parakeet. Set down your marker and grab your eraser. I'm going to switch back to my guide because I drew this one in pencil and I'm going to erase right along with you. Go ahead and start at the top, steady your paper so you don't crinkle it, and gently erase as you go down. If you have a darker spot, go over it a few times. Be sure to like and subscribe. You can find this video on Facebook as well as YouTube, so check it out there too. And send me your drawings. So I think that's what I get out of all of this. I really, really enjoy that interaction with you and seeing what you're drawing. It helps me know how to teach you better. It makes me feel connected in a way when we're not feeling very connected. So make sure you send them to me. That's very fun for me. You can post them in the comments below if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, you can email them to me. I'd love to see them. All right. We drew a parakeet. Thanks for drawing with me today. Stay safe, be healthy, make good decisions, wear a mask. All right, and I will see you next week. Talk to you soon. Take care.